In this episode, our Ken Faught and Troy Devlin head to Cabo San Lucas to ride dirt bikes in this famous international tourist destination. We also join Coyote Trail Adventures in Randsburg, California for a 350-mile dirt bike tour that includes a VIP experience at the famed Anaheim Supercross. It's all coming up next on Off-Road Travel TV.
Presented by Beta, the official motorcycle of Off-Road Travel TV.
It's rare that you can find incredible off-road trails around a world-famous tourist destination, especially one that is on the coast near billion-dollar resort and world-famous landmarks. But Mexico's Cabo San Lucas isn't your normal vacation escape. Our own Ken Faught and Troy Devlin recently joined Baja Ride Off-Road Adventures for a multi-day ride with owner Fabricio Ramirez. They also hit the local town, enjoyed amazing Mexican food, and even played tourists for a few days.
Cabo San Lucas is one of my favorite destinations in the entire world. It's about a 2-hour flight from my home in Corona, California, so I come here often. And one of the things that I enjoy is the fact that I can stay down at the marina in a world-class resort, and in a half hour, I could be out on a dirt bike enjoying the trails.
I have the different trails for the different levels. I'm experiencing the deep sand, good sand, single track, the mountain, beach. I have everything for the different levels.
One of the biggest questions or fears that people have is what kind of condition are the bikes in that they're going to be able to ride. So the bikes here were actually in really good condition overall. You know, they see a lot of use. These guys are very experienced mechanics. They take the time when you get here, they adjust the brake perch, they adjust the rear brake pedal, the clutch. They really want everything set up for you. So that was, you know, a great surprise. And once we got on that and saw the bikes, man, we just knew we were going to have a blast.
Yeah, our tour bikes are Honda CRF 450X. We prepared these bikes especially for Baja. We trust Honda because it's a very reliable bike, and the durability on them, the versatility on those bikes is amazing. People who ride at 250 can jump in a 450, and people who ride on 450 can easily ride at 250, so we stay with Honda.
The guides here at Baja Ride are extraordinary. They know the terrain very well. They know the paths. They also know how to change routes should there be someone within their group that may be at a higher level or a lower level. I feel their expertise really shines within the first 10-15 minutes of the welcome, and it's carried through the entire tour. The riding here is, it varies quite quickly. As we found on the Intercoastal, we actually had a chance to ride on the beach, something I've never done before. We were able to skim along the shoreline from the ocean, and as we approached the interior of the peninsula, the terrain would change so very quickly. It would go from arid, dry, and dusty to moist and more of a looming soil, but the terrain itself, it has such undulation at times, but then there's other times it's nice and smooth. We found fire roads, we found 2 tracks, single tracks. We actually got a little road time on dirt bikes. We were cruising along on a highway. So the terrain here in Baja, the peninsula, changes quite quickly, and for myself, I enjoy that. The diversity of terrain makes the ride that much more exciting.
One of my favorite parts of the trip was cruising through a small little town on dirt roads and looking at the beautiful beach and looking at a restaurant and knowing, man, that's where lunch is going to come from. And of course, it's Mexican food, which is my favorite, and it just couldn't have been any better.
On this trip, the most memorable moment that I had was riding along the coastline here in Baja. I have never ridden a motorcycle, let alone a dirt bike, on a beach. Back in the United States, it's something that we're not permitted to do, but here seasonally they're allowed to do that. So for me to actually ride a dirt bike on the beach, in the water, and to feel the terrain was the most memorable piece of this trip.
One of the things I enjoy most is they have a lot of diverse terrain here. Everyone knows about Baja. You know, they know that it's going to have a lot of whoops. They know it's going to have a lot of dust. It's a lot of desert. And these guys have done a fantastic job of developing a trail system and a network that they can really identify the skill level of the riders very quickly, and they can choose the type of riding that they're going to have the most fun at.
On our ride, we had the opportunity to visit a waterfall, which I did not know existed here in Cabo San Lucas. The trail ride that was there was amazing. We went from a single track to 2-track, and we approached this area that had a lovely restaurant, but past the restaurant was this trail, this path. It was a bit of a hiking path, and it led to this pool. The pool with a waterfall falling into it. The water was spectacular. We couldn't resist. We hopped in, we had a swim, we cooled off, we hiked back up, and it was a real cool experience, the fact that I didn't expect that. It was a pleasant surprise that our guide offered to us. If I can make a recommendation for your potential stay here in Cabo San Lucas, and if you're focused on adventure dirt bike riding, I would suggest starting off with a 2-day ride, a ride that will allow you to see the coastline, a little bit of the interior. I would take a day or two after that to enjoy the amenities of the area, specifically within your facility of the resort. Maybe perhaps pick up another day where you can see another area of the peninsula. Ideally, a 7-day stay would be great, an entire week. And if you can begin with the ride, work on a break, and continue with the ride and have a little downtime before you fly out, I feel like that's the ideal situation to experience Baja via adventure dirt bike riding.
Navigation is one of the most important tools in off-road, and there have never been more options available. Today, we're going to show you 2 completely different tools. One is a hard-mounted system made by TrailTech, and the other is an app for cell phones. The TrailTech Voyager Pro is their top-of-the-line system that includes everything you need to mount the system to your motorcycle, and this unit is model-specific. You see, the unit ties into your motorcycle's electrical system to power it for uninterrupted use. This means you aren't dependent on battery life, even though there is an internal battery. The Voyager Pro comes loaded with North American maps, but other map regions can be downloaded for free via TrailTech's website. Voyager Pro is also Bluetooth enabled for intercom, phone, and media controls. You can play songs from your phone or micro SD card using Bluetooth headset, speaker, or intercom. 2 phones and 2 headsets can be connected at the same time, and you can record or load GPX trails and riding areas and transfer to your PC using the micro SD card. The Voyager Pro excels as a standalone GPS unit, but it also accepts included TrailTech vehicle sensors to provide vital ride data such as engine temperature, RPM, battery voltage, speed, distance, and more. The 4-inch TFT display also allows for buddy tracking that supports up to 20 other Voyager Pro GPS riders who are up to 1.5 miles apart. There is also an emergency beacon button to alert other riders in the group of any issues. The second product is the Rever Pro phone app. Rever is a route mapping and community sourcing app that features tens of thousands of miles of off-road trails and on-road routes. It's owned by RevZilla.com, and it's a great tool that's growing daily. You can also import GPX files and track all your rides. We use it with an iPhone 14 and a quad lock mounting system, and it works out great. We'll see you out on the trail.
Coyote Trail Adventures specializes in dirt bike tours on the West Coast. And once a year, they do something incredibly special in the small town of Randsburg, California. At the conclusion of the 3-day tour, Stephen Walker and his crew take the riders on a special VIP event at Anaheim Supercross, and it's about as unique as it gets. Our own Ken Faught and Katharina Bertolino got to join the fun, and it ranks among the best events we've ever done.
I love the entire concept of blending a dirt bike ride with a Supercross VIP experience. You get the best of both worlds in the span of 4 days. I can see why this adventure is so popular.
We chose Randsburg because it's just got wonderful people in the town. The location here, we got thousands of miles of trails to the north, to the south, to the east. We can ride from here to Vegas. I can accommodate abilities riding from novice to expert, all in the same day.
Coyote Trail Adventures has been in business for over 10 years, and they specialize in guided dirt bike tours in the Mojave Desert and the Eastern Sierras in California. They do 3 to 5 day rides with as many as 12 riders at a time, and they can handle everything from beginner novice riders all the way up to expert and professional level guys.
So the riding out here in California compared to the Midwest is completely different. You know, we're used to kind of tight single track rocks and roots back in Michigan and Indiana. Similar premise here in California, but totally different. You know, great single track, but it's very technical. So it gives me a whole new perspective to what the off-road guys are doing out here. It's insane.
Well, I think it's, to have a dual sport bike is imperative out here. You just have to have it. I think it's, when you're connecting trails, you have to connect some roads, and it's, we always want to be legal and have everything taken care of that way. The bikes that are provided are just top-notch bikes. They're maintained very well. And we're in a rough environment, and you want to have a good bike and be able to connect the trails and try to eliminate as many problems as you can. And I'm happy to ride the dual sports out here.
I really like this town. It has about 65 year-round residents, and on the weekend, the population really swells. It gets several hundred off-road enthusiasts coming through here. So there's bars, restaurants, a couple different things. But if you come here during the week and there's not a lot of things going on, don't expect to find anything open. The places are usually open on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And the town has a really unique charm to it. All the buildings, have about the look of 100 years old. And even new buildings that have come here, people add a lot of signs like this one behind me, just to kind of be part of everything.
So when I moved into town here and created Randsburg Vinny Cycles, I needed a shop space that looked like it belonged in this town. It's not necessarily a business, but it looks like it belongs. And I do on occasion fix some tires, help people out with different motorcycle problems, but was never intended to really be a business.
Town of Randsburg, man, it's phenomenal. A lot of rich history here, with being an old gold mining town. The way that they cater to the off-road community is just astonishing.
One of my favorite things that I've seen on this trip are the Trona Pinnacles. They're between 10,000 and 100,000 years old, and they reach as high as 140 feet, and at one time, they're under over 600 feet of water.
I've never seen them before. I've only seen them in pictures, and believe me, pictures don't do it justice. It was really, really amazing. It was an awesome ride to get there, and then we stayed there for a while, took some pictures, and just thought it was an amazing scenery.
One of the coolest places that we visited was a world-famous Husky monument. This is a tribute to over 100 fallen riders who have passed away in the last 20 to 30 years. It's world-famous and a must-see place if you're in the Mojave Desert. One of the reasons I like organized tours so much is because they can take care of everything. From the logistics to the bike rentals to professional guides who know the trail system really well, to all the food and everything you wind up needing to have fun. All you have to do is show up with a great attitude and an incredible sense of adventure and be prepared to have a lot of fun.
So the great thing about a guided tour is just the structure and kind of the programming that goes behind it. We all enjoy bushwhacking and kind of making our own trail, but having a destination provided to us makes it that much more enjoyable.
What I really like about going on an organized tour is the person you go with is really knowledgeable of that area you're riding in. Let's say if you wanted to go to Baja, Mexico, and you went down there and you didn't know anything about it, you'll spend more time getting lost and missing stuff. Somebody like Steve, he knows the area, and so's his team, and he takes us to some really unique areas to check out the ghost towns, check out the gold mines. It's just, with a tour operator, it's the best bang for your buck.
The advantages of all-inclusive are huge because I go to Colorado a lot and I find myself being the Sherpa, the cook, the organizer, the one that has to worry about everything. And just to come out here on an all-inclusive trip and actually take a vacation ride is worth its weight in gold. And that's exactly what it's all about for me, is just you know, having the peace of mind. So whenever I want to sit down and relax, I'm letting someone else tend to all the heavy lifting, the organizing, the worrying, the gassing, tightening the chain or whatever it needs to be. And I can just sit back and relax and enjoy it.
So the great thing, you know, about a pretty much all-inclusive ride trip, man, you just show up with your gear bag and rip it. I've never done anything like this before, so to be catered and have a cultured experience is just fantastic.
Our next stop is a world-famous Anaheim Supercross in California, where we meet up with our own Katharina Bertolino to talk to a bunch of industry insiders.
There have never been more choices for cool products to enhance your off-road experience. We want to point out 4 of our favorites. The first is this bike rack from Quiker Stuff. These are made in the USA and attach to the receiver hitch for a fast, safe, and easy transportation. They are intelligently designed, lightweight, and feature incredible fit and finish for all their components. We use them to transport up to $15,000 worth of bikes at a time, so they have earned our recommendation with extreme confidence. You can also add up to 3 additional trays so you can carry 4 bikes. Simply put, we haven't used a better bike rack. The next is this O'Neill mountain bike gear. O'Neill has been a leader in the motocross industry for decades, and they have made a wide range of off-road apparel, including this helmet, shorts, jersey, and gloves. They're extremely comfortable, well-made, and lightweight. It's everything you want when riding single-track trails. Another component for our organization comes from Eberlestock. This company makes a variety of outdoor equipment, and we are big fans of their bags. From purpose-built range and medical bags to workhorse EDC bags, Eberlestock has a large selection. They also make cool accessories like this modular Recon binoculars harness and an assortment of apparel. The final is this gearbox from Radius Outfitters. We used about a dozen of these on our trip to Alaska, and they worked out incredibly well. You can reconfigure the inside of the boxes so that the contents can be stored exactly how you want it. These boxes come in a variety of sizes, and we even use Radius Outfitters trash cans, laundry bags, and other outdoor gear. These were some of the best things we used for storage and organization, and they have become part of our standard equipment on most builds.
And the Coyote Trail Adventure VIP Tour continues with Ken Faught and Katharina Zimber taking the lead.
I've been over 200 Supercrosses in my career, and walking through the pits and doing a track walk never gets old. Today, Katharina Zimber is going to take us on an amazing tour and show everyone who attended this year's Coyote Trail Adventures an amazing time. This is where a lot of technology really gets introduced to the public. In some cases, factory riders are using things that an average guy won't be able to get their hands on for 5 years or more. These bikes represent the state-of-the-art. Without question, these are the best dirt bikes in the world.
What makes Supercross the most important series in all off-road racing?
I think it's just the platform that we provide. So Supercross, along with motocross now with the SMX World Championship, we have the best riders in the world, we have the best facilities in the world, and we sell out those facilities. So I think just the platform that we provide and the fans and the growth we've seen over the past 20 years, but more so recently in the past 3 years with the advent of the SMX World Championship.
After all these years, do you still get excited to walk through these pits?
Oh, we love it. What a wonderful experience to get to visit the trucks, all the people. My guys are having a fantastic time with the VIP experience.
So how important is Supercross racing to the development of motorcycles?
Yeah, it's very important because we have a really good connection with Japan and all the engineers that are manufacturing the motorcycle, designing it. And even though that Supercross isn't, exactly what every other rider will ride, it still has a lot of fundamental characteristics that the bike will do that, we need to adapt to make it comfortable for not just our riders, but the average customer as well. So there's a lot to learn from it, even though most average riders can't ride that track.
How important is a Supercross to the production of motorcycles?
It's pretty important. I mean, especially these days, Supercross is only getting bigger, especially for developing a well-rounded bike. You have motocross, Supercross. They're two very different tracks and how the bike reacts. So with all the data they can collect these days, it's incredible. They got devices and the data they can store, engine, suspension, chassis, all that. And so they take the notes from Europe, everything they do over there with the guys and the outdoor stuff, all of our data that we collect here with Supercross. And, you know, you don't nail it every single time, but the goal is to make a well-rounded bike that, as these consumers buy these bikes and if they want to set up for motocross or set up for Supercross, it's got a big window. So very important.
So how do you guys analyze the data?
Well, it's kind of two pieces. So obviously when the guys go on the track, we do a lot of filming. We have this filming program where we can overlay different riders with the actual riders, and they can see firsthand where they're losing time, where they're gaining time. And then also with that, we look at the data that we collect from the motorcycle, everything. It pulls up all their, and so if a rider says, hey, it's doing this, you know, my bike did something in this area, whether it was suspension, engine, throttle, I mean, they can pull that all up on the computer. They can see what gear you were in, how much throttle you were giving it, where your suspension was in the stroke, and all these. So they can take all that, and we can look at the video that we're seeing and the riders' comments as well, and come to a conclusion and find the answers a lot quicker.
How long does it take for the technology to go from the racetrack to production?
Yeah, it takes like I said, 1 to 3, 4 years for certain things.
Tell me, how important is it to have a semi at this level?
Oh, it's very important. It's this is a lot of behind the scenes stuff that, the whole crew puts a lot of effort into it, from the suspension guy to the truck driver to, everybody has a role. And I think that one of the cool things about the whole Rockstar NZ Husqvarna group is we're a small individual team, but, everybody does everybody's job, and I love that, right? So the team chemistry is really, really awesome here. And I love being here, and love to go out here and support my crew and do the best that I can for these guys.
I'm looking forward to most going to Supercross this year is actually getting down on the track and being able to actually take in how steep and how big, and get a bigger appreciation for how gnarly the track is.
Can you imagine riding on that track?
I tried to imagine it, and yes, I could. I guess I figured which jumps would I hit, and when I hit them, how would I land in time and stop fast enough not to hit the next one?
So what's it like taking the riders and being able to have a private experience in the semi-truck?
Very unique, very special. We get to see all the factory Honda stuff, factory KTM. We're standing here with factory Husky right now. Not very many people get to do this opportunity. We are so excited, never got to do this before.